This is Stay Paid, the marketing podcast that gives listeners a competitive edge to stay motivated, find inspiration, and discover proven real-world tactics from some of the best marketers across the nation.
Welcome to another Silver Dollar episode of Stay Paid. I'm Joshua Stike.
And I'm Luke Akery.
And we are on this lead generation theme. So this is for June. So just to kind of talk a little bit about, because we've sort of reintroduced this idea of themes. And the reason why we did that is there's so many aspects to marketing. Right? Even us, when we look at our own marketing and in our business, I'm constantly feeling guilty because we're leaving out different avenues that we could be taking advantage of. You're telling me every week, hey, we need to be doing this. We need to be doing that. And so it's like there's so much to focus on, but this idea of like ping-ponging or bouncing back and forth between ideas can be very confusing and overwhelming for people. We have the luxury of doing this for a living.
Yeah.
Marketing is all.
And we have a team. I mean, how big's the team? It's
our listeners, our clients, they are looking to people like us, Reminder Media, to help them with their marketing. And their full-time job is servicing their clients.
Yes, correct.
So this is kind of why we wanted to break it down to these themes. So June is all about lead generation, specifically because we want to drill down even further. We've been focusing on Facebook lead generation because this is a huge opportunity. It continues to be.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to say it. It feels like we've been saying it for a while. You've got to get on this opportunity because you have a huge opportunity to generate cost-effective intentional leads,
and it's because
from Facebook.
Your moms are on Facebook and your moms have money and they buy, meaning like that's oversimplification, but honestly the kids have gone to TikTok, Instagram, really TikTok now, and other platforms, and the parents like me are now using Facebook and older than me.
So we're talking Meta. We're talking like Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram advertising.
And so the people who have money are on these platforms. And that's why the leads are still good, because you're actually talking to people who have money. Not all the time, but people who have money.
So last episode, 2 weeks ago, we talked about the two different types. We set out to that episode of saying like, hey, these are going to be four things you have to be doing. And we didn't get past the first one, or we only got through the first one. The first one is the two types of leads you need to be running on Facebook are lead generation ads. So these are ads that are optimized for conversion, getting somebody to raise their hand and tell you that they're interested in what you're offering. The second thing, this is your branding ad. So this is your digital billboard. This is tried and true in every local community. Look at billboards, look at shopping carts. We interviewed somebody yesterday who put their face above the Lysol wipes in a CVS, right, to build their brand out. This is what you should be doing in the digital space as well. By the way, just a real quick plug, we can do both of these things for you as well. So we've generated over 20,000 leads for our clients and over 10 million impressions in the last year alone. Joyce messaged us in and said that she's added lead generation with Reminder Media, gets leads daily from her Facebook ads, added over 150 leads to her CRM. This was in the matter of maybe 3 to 4 months, as well as made connections with some. And the best part, she closed one deal so far and has already paid for the expense and has another one closing next week, whenever she sent this into us, with 2 more leads in the works, actively looking for a home. So if this makes sense for your business, we can walk you through the process and give you more information on how we can help you with that here at Reminder Media. Just fill out a quick form at remindermedia.com/staypaidfollowup. We'll include that link in the show notes as well. The second thing that we want to get to here, because this one is huge, maybe the most important piece when dealing with Facebook leads, because this is different than your Zillow leads. This is different than your referral leads. This is different from even like the leads you're getting from your email inbox, right? This is a wider net.
It's top of funnel.
You're going to have a lot less qualified people coming through here. We're seeing 1 to 2% conversion rate, ultimate conversion rate, not contact rate, but ultimate conversion rate on these types of leads. So you need to get the computers working for you. So you want to set up automation basically to autopilot the qualification of your leads.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, this is the biggest thing that people have to understand about Facebook leads is fortunes in the follow-up. Top of funnel, middle of funnel. You're going to build your database over time, be able to drip on these with a cost-effective strategy, and then you'll convert 1 to 3% over the course of a year.
Yeah.
And, obviously that will more than pay for itself, depending on what your spend is and your commission that you get. But most of the people we're seeing, they get massive return on investment, but they have to work the leads, and most people don't because they don't have it automated. Yeah,
16. Let's say you get let's say I just was doing the math in my head. I have to go back to the math thing because I just completely blanked on what I was going to say there.
Well, like if you take my brother, right, for instance, like he spends between $18,000 and $25,000.
That's what I was going to say.
Right.
He's getting about $16 per lead.
Yeah, so he'll spend
$1,600 for 100 leads and get a close out of that. Is it worth $1,600 for that commission check?
Exactly.
That's what I was saying.
And so you got to calculate your price and all that stuff. The biggest pain point is your time, right, of follow-up. So we've talked about like call-wise, which is not automated unless you use an ISA, which we could talk about that. But it's not automated. You need to be making 12 to 18 calls on these people. What can be automated, though, is your email drip, your text messages that are going out. These type of things can be automated to help you drip on these things.
Yeah. So the first thing that you want to do is when you're sending these automations, what you're trying to accomplish is three things. Number one, you want to prove that they're a real person.
Yes.
Right. Number two, you want to prove out that they gave you good contact information, because that's one of the biggest pain points with internet leads is bad phone numbers, bad email addresses. And then number three, you want to prove that there's some level of interest there. Now, that's not the end all be all. You still want to call these, but with the automation, you want to try and create some level of interest there. So first and foremost, you want to get automated text messages going out to engage the leads. With text messages, business to consumer, you need to include a disclaimer on your form that they are opting in to receive text messages whenever they fill out that form. Super easy to set that up in Facebook. Here's what you want to do with your text message. You want to wait 5 minutes. So you want to set this automation up to basically wait 5 minutes, because if it comes in immediately, people are automatically, oh, this is automation.
It's not real. It's a bot.
Right. So you're trying to create this perception that you're actually texting them. You want to set your times within a time frame that you're comfortable responding. So I think this is the FCC. You can't text out of 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. So as a business, you can't set up your automation to be texting outside of 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. But if you're not willing to text people back after 6 p.m., cut it off at 6 p.m. If you're not willing to work, like if you don't work on Sundays, that's family days, that's your day, whatever it is, then you can turn off Sundays. Make sure that you only have the text messages going out.
Because what you're getting at here is it's going to be automated at 6 p.m., but when they respond,
you've got to be there.
You've got to actually respond back and actually get into conversation with them, right? You can semi-automate it with the bot, and probably with ChatGPT, it's going to get really, really good here eventually. But the bots still don't do it justice. Like if you can jump in.
You got to get to conversation.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So, and if you don't, if someone texts you outside of those hours, it'll queue up for the next available time. All right. So it'll send the next morning. So what you want your text to say is you want it to say, "Hi, Barb. This is Josh Stike with Reminder Media Realty. I got your request for the list of homes." This is a real estate example in Collegeville under 500K from Facebook. Putting it together now. Just want to confirm you are most interested in single family homes.
Yeah.
So those data points we got from the ad itself. We know that we set the ad up to say you want to get a list of homes under 500K.
Yep.
We know that we're targeting the area of Collegeville. And we know based on the questions that we talked about in the last episode that we're putting on the forms to qualify people that they're most interested in single family homes, right?
Yes.
So you're getting those data points in there. One, it's letting them know, hey, you saw their form submission. You're reinforcing what they said, which gives them the opportunity to say, oh, no, I was actually looking in King of Prussia under 400,000. Perfect.
Bingo.
That's your response that you want to get. That's the conversation. And then you're saying, just want to confirm you're most interested in single family homes. Again, that's another question that they have an opportunity to respond to. This is the most important part of it. Wait 30 seconds. Kind of pretend like you're typing out the next message, and then send this text verbatim. Any other important criteria in homes that you'd like me to include? The powerful part of this is you are already assuming that you're their real estate agent.
Yes.
It's the same thing if you listen to when we had Steve on the interview, that basically the origin story of Reminder Media started with this, where they went to an open house. By the time they got home, the agent who was at the open house representing the seller already said, hey, I'm getting you over a list of other homes, and is already assuming that they're now your real estate agent. The worst that can happen is they're not looking right now, so you keep them on your drip, or they're working with another real estate agent, no harm, no foul, right? So it's very active language. I'm getting this list together for you, putting it together now. Anything else you want me to include? This is the question that gets the most responses.
Yep.
Because automatically people go into, oh, yeah, we need 3 bedrooms, or we need a big backyard, or we'd love to have a pool, or whatever it might be, right? That's
and it's non-threatening, it's non-salesy.
It's discovery-based.
Correct. It's non-salesy. It doesn't have to do with pre-approval. It doesn't have to do with price. It doesn't have to do with money-based things necessarily. It has to do with everything about what they would want.
Yeah.
Backyard, 2 bedrooms, whatever it is.
Also listen to the informality of the question. Like, we're not saying like, Please let me know if there is any other criteria that you would like me to include. You can always get a hold of me at this number and include like your email signature. Don't do that. You want to be very informal and very to the point with your questions.
The feedback we're getting from agents is that if a lead responds, those leads are very high quality leads. So it really is, the great thing about the automation is like you might be having tons and tons of leads come in, but if a lead responds, even saying, yes, send that over to me, that is like a positive response. If you get a positive response, that is a very high quality lead is what the feedback we're getting.
Your next text should be, great, calling you now.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so then if they respond, stop the automation, right? Then you're going to pick up with the conversation. You're going to call them. You're going to respond to them. You're going to text back and forth with them. But that basically the automation stops because you don't want more messages going out to someone you're in conversation with, because then it does feel disingenuous. Then it's obviously, a bot. But the second thing that you want to do is set up your automated emails to live in their inbox. Emails is a critical part of this. Text messages for the direct response reply, right? Emails are going to live if everyone uses their email the same way, right? If you don't want to get to it right now, what do? You kind of let it sit there, right? You clear out your new ones, you get rid of the ones you don't need, but you let those ones that you're not sure about sit there. So you want to live in their inbox. And this is what you want that email to say. This one will go out 1 hour later if they don't reply to your text message.
Okay.
So you're still kind of creating this perception of, okay, I'm on the road, I'm texting. Now I'm back to my office, so I have a chance to send you an email type of thing. This is what we put in ours. Hi, this is Josh Dyke with Reminder Realty. I have a notification that you requested the list of homes in city for under price range from Facebook. Just confirming you're most interested in what type of home interests you most. That's the question from the form. Also, feel free to let me know any other criteria, and then in parentheses, it's kind of silly, but we put number of bedrooms, baths, llama farm, winky face, etc. So it's got, it's adding in a little bit of sense of humor. If that's not your personality, feel free to leave out the llama farm part, or if you work in a city, maybe not, that you would like to add. So feel free to include any other criteria that you would like to add, and I'll add it to the list for you. Again, very proactive language. I'm going to add this to the list for you. Our goal is to present you with your dream homes as quickly as we can before other buyers have a chance to view them, since the housing market is still quite competitive. You're creating a sense of urgency now within that buyer. Feel free to call or text me if that's easier, or just reply to this email. My cell is this, best, your name. Then we add a postscript here. P.S. If you already have a house and you'd like to see, or would you like to set up a quick meeting to go over what you're looking for more thoroughly, you can schedule an appointment with me and my team here, and then include a calendar link. Now, I'll say the calendar very rarely. Do people use the calendar link? But what you want to do here is you want to create a single call to action, right? Just reply to me. Reply to my email, or shoot me a text, reply to my text message. And then a secondary call to action if you are hitting someone who's more organized or analytical or structured or wants to set up a calendar with you, include a Calendly link so that they can book time to speak with you as well.
Yeah, most people are not going to take the step of a Calendly because it's too threatening. They think you're going to try to sell them.
Yeah, I'm the one that wouldn't want the phone call. I would want a calendar link. So there's a subsection of the population that will kind of
what's the subject line for that email?
I didn't write it down.
So we'll have to maybe put that in the show notes. But because the key to these, you got to go back and listen to the first half of this episode, or the first one we recorded, the Silver Dollar that we recorded on Facebook ads. Because the key to this is in our ads, they are requesting information on houses in a certain price range. And we found that ad to work extremely well. So here's all the homes that are $250,000 in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. And now, put your email in below to receive that list of homes. That really, really helps us get engagement, because now you know what they're looking for. And that's why these drips work really well.
Okay, so here is the one, and I want to reinforce this idea, because what we've seen some of our clients do, and we're trying to coach them to do it differently, is a lot of people aren't comfortable assuming the close, or aren't comfortable saying, great, calling you now, to start that conversation. They want to reply with, okay, well, if you ever need anything, here's my contact information.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, you're basically...
People aren't going to make that decision. You've got to go in there and be their guide, be the Sherpa that's going to help them make that decision and get them to move, because they're looking for homes for a reason.
Yep.
Now, there's a category of looky-loos that they're just curious, or they just want to see, but they're looking for a list of homes for a reason. So make sure that you're getting in there and actually guiding them along and not being passive about it.
Yeah, there's this rule in sales that you do not want to give over control, right? And so a perfect example of this would be is if a lead comes in and I call the lead, right? My voicemail that I leave, the outreach that I do, I'm not going to say just, hey, give me a call back when you get this. My number is 484-804, whatever. I'm going to add on, I want to keep control of the ball. I want to keep control that, hey, I don't want it. Now, if they haven't called me back and I call them back, now it's just kind of awkward. I want it to be, hey, give me a call back if you get this. I'll try you this afternoon as well. And maybe we can connect, or we can connect over text. But I look forward to talking to you, so I'll try you again. But if you get this before I get to you, give me a call back. I want to keep control, because now it's not awkward and I'm constantly progressing the conversation forward. When you tell somebody, well, let me know if you ever need any help or something like that, you've literally given them control, and they're never going to let you know, because that's not human nature. You walk into the retail store and you say, no, I don't need any help.
Yeah, that person's going to be looking for homes elsewhere, and the seller of that home, they're going to fill out a form for more information. They're the ones that are going to call that person. Yeah.
Bingo.
The subject of that email, just to come back to that real quick, is, and this is in all lowercase, so even the beginning so even the first word is lowercase. It says, hey, wanted to make sure you got this, Josh. Right. So the contact's first name, put their first name in there. That's going to be more, that's going to stick out to people. It's proven that when you put a person's name in the subject line, it has a higher open rate.
So, hey, Luke, wanted to make sure you got this, Josh.
Wanted to make sure you got this. Yeah. So some of the stats, just to kind of back this up and say, hey, this isn't just theory. This is what we've actually been testing. Now, we've tested this with dozens of accounts. We're helping hundreds of people generate their leads, but we're testing the automation right now. One of our accounts, this is the last 30 days, 111 leads came in from their Facebook lead gen campaign. 82 text messages were delivered. So right there, that's about 29 people that gave a bad number because a text message, or it was a landline. Sometimes.
So it does help you qualify the info.
Yep. 25 replies.
Nice.
From contacts, which is a 30% contact rate.
That's great.
Right? Imagine calling through people. Can you get 30% of people to pick up your phone?
Yeah,
probably not. So the 30% contact rate, 8 of them were positive, which doesn't sound huge, but 8 out of 10, that's 10% positive contact rate that's leading to conversations, meaning they're responding with, yes, I'm interested, or no, here's my criteria. They're responding with some sort of positive interaction. Out of the ones that were negative, quote unquote negative, 10 of them said no or stop. Now for these, stop texting them. You have to stop texting them as a business. You can email them. You can keep them on their drip. Make sure that you're continuing to drip on them with your other marketing. The rest of them were just kind of a combination of, I'm already working with a realtor. That's great. Now you have that information. You don't have to spend any more time on that lead. My favorite ones, because we get this also, my phone was hacked. Like, how many people are hacking phones?
Someone filled out the Facebook ad for me. Yeah.
Here's another great one. My nephew had my phone.
Yeah, that's so good.
So your nephew went on Facebook, filled out. These are people that are literally, they don't want to say no, so they're coming.
They just don't want to have a conversation. They think you're going to sell them something.
I didn't request anything is another popular one. And then another one was kind of cool I saw in the ones that I pulled, where I'm a realtor looking for my buyer. So dude, right there. So hook up with the realtor, get some referrals, work back and forth. And then the most important and I think probably impressive statistic, 6 inbound calls.
Yeah, that's so good.
So 6 inbound calls to the message, basically the chat automation. And we have an app that whenever people call the number that you're texting from, it'll actually ring you so that you can answer the phone straight from your number. So you can actually make calls from that. If you don't have that set up and you've got like a different app where you can't call from, respond to them and just say, hey, great, calling you from my main line, 610-878-5000, so that they recognize that number coming in.
That's a great point. Great point.
So there you go. That's the second one. So next time, on our last of the series, we're going to talk about what you hinted at.
Yeah, the
which
ISA.
Is, should you hire an ISA?
Yeah, we did. We hired an ISA, and we actually hired one. We have one in the States, and we have one overseas.
So we're going to talk about the results of that. And what
so we'll talk about the difference, and we'll talk about should you hire an ISA, what are the pros and cons.
Yeah, and then we'll also cover probably the fourth tip, which is the absolute most important. So make sure to stay tuned for that episode in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for listening. You can head on over to staypaidpodcast.com for the show notes and the video of this episode. If you like this episode and want to show your support, head on over to Apple Podcasts, drop us a 5-star review. We'd love to read it here on the show. And the best way to show your support is simply to share the podcast with someone that you know. Speaking of the internet, it can be used for good. It can be used for bad. Google, it turns out, is a bad influence. Yeah, do you know how I found out?
How?
I searched for how to become an arsonist, and it gave me 50,000 matches. Like, that's enabling Google.
That joke was fire. There we go.
Oh,
there we go.
Bam! We got
Boom.
the dad joke complimented by a dad joke.
If you want to get a hold of me or Luke, you can email us at podcast@reminderme.com. We'd love to help you out with your marketing as well in your business. And of course, you can find us on social media. We are at Stay Paid Podcast. You can also follow Reminder Media. So the company that produces this, Reminder Media, we're at Reminder Media on Instagram as well. For this episode of Stay Paid, I'm Joshua Stike.
Guys, I'm Luke Acree. I would encourage you need to get automation in your business. Even if you're not doing lead gen on Facebook, you should, because I think there's a golden opportunity there. But even if you're not, you can have automation for your drip going out to your current database right now, whether it's prospects you haven't closed yet, your past clients, your sphere. You need automation. Automation gives you leverage. That gives you more time to spend doing the things that only you can do, which is the actual relationship side of the business. So obviously, we would love to help you with your Facebook ads, love to help you with your automation if you need help with that. But there are a lot of options out there, and I promise you, your brokerage probably even has a free system that you can automate that you could be using right now. So remember, the difference between a top producer and mediocre producer is top producers take action. Take action on that today.